Well, certainly the biggest Friday for the Seahawks as they ready themselves for a playoff matchup, a marquee matchup Sunday late afternoon back in D.C. And I thought I would take a look at a little bit at the zone read and the pistol that the Redskins and Mr. RG3 run so well. What's difficult about this and what's complicated is don't just take this one chalk talk and say, oh, so that's how they do it. That's how you figure it out. Here's how you solve the riddle on this one play. Because remember, the pistol, much like the zone read with the Seahawks, it is so much more intricate than what you're going to see in the X's and O's. The timing, the play calling, the formation, the personnel, what a defensive front is doing. But I want to give you one look in particular. It's from the Dallas game a week ago where RG3 got out and got a big third down conversion with his legs. And there are still some core fundamentals here on every snap for the Seahawks defense to pay attention to. Some of this you'll recognize because it's some of the same concepts in the zone read concepts we talked about with Russell in the Seahawks run game. But let's take in a little closer look. And Dallas is a good team because Dallas does what? They play a lot of press man, which I think you're going to see a ton with your Seattle Seahawks. It's what you've got to do anyway against teams that are zone read teams. You sure hope to take away, and that's first and foremost, take away some of that pass. Now, Dallas did it, as I said, in press, and I'm going to expect the Seahawks to do the same. They also kept a free safety back in the middle of the field to try to limit some of the big plays, a lot of what Earl Thomas has done. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, as you watch this game Sunday night, this is what I will be looking for. This is what you should be looking for. What happens at the line of scrimmage? Here's the line of scrimmage at the snap. What happens defensively? Do Mebane and Branch and Clemens and company reassert that line of scrimmage 2 yards back? Or does that offensive line start to wear on them and push it? And that 1 yard difference is going to be significant. Think of Stanford beating Oregon. Think of those teams that have gone after the pistol and the zone read. That line of scrimmage, and it's difficult because what you're going to see is what we've seen a whole bunch with the Seahawks this year. Look at the favorable numbers and the angles on this play when they block back. Everything is favorable to them. In fact, you have a 2-on-1, and they don't even go after this linebacker. They're going to save that for the motioning tight end. So you have a wall of humanity. You have, in this case, 5 guys against their 4 left, and you're leaving an unblocked DeMarcus Ware and what will be an unblocked Cam Chancellor, the strong safety for Dallas. And that becomes really the next conversation to watch. The penetration, the movement at the line of scrimmage, and then who remains unblocked, because those are the guys that have to be the difference makers. It is tough haul here for the big boys. I'm not talking immense penetration. I'm just saying hold a standstill. But then when you are unblocked, Chris Clemens, when you are unblocked, Bruce Irvin, when you are unblocked, Red Bryant, when you are unblocked, as you should be hopefully much of this game, Cam Chancellor, what do you do? What you can't do on this play is what DeMarcus Ware did. A beat up DeMarcus Ware who doesn't see zone read a bunch, and as I've talked about this week, that mesh point and that read quickens. When you're in that pistol, one of the concepts, 2 concepts, that zone read, that mesh point there for that defensive end is fast, it's quick. It's not this, put it in his gut, you make a decision right now, and hesitation kills you. If you're flat-footed, if you're looking both ways, you're done. Why? Because not only is that mesh point quick, but that quarterback, because he's halfway up, he's 2 steps up from where he normally would be, is out on that edge even quicker. Hesitation kills you. And then lastly, what I've talked about all week, which must happen, is you have got to finish. And you have got to finish with force. If you are unblocked, if you are not accounted for in the scheme, you can't hesitate, and more importantly, you've got to be a finisher and a difference maker. You've got to trust your eyes. This is the other key, and they're going to try to get your eyes all the time. Simple concepts, old school football, zone read it out just like the option game. And what are your eyes doing, Cam Chancellor? What are your eyes doing, Chris Clemens? What are your eyes doing, Red Bryant, when you're in that end spot? You've got to trust your eyes, trust your keys, finish, and punish these Redskins Sunday night.